welcome to the live. Amira, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Welcome to the live. And next name is Amelia in the chat. Hello, Amelia, how are you? Next name is Evelyn in the chat. Hi, Evelyn, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And next name I see here we have happy birthday to you, Evelyn. Wish you a very happy birthday. Next name is Noor. Join the live. Hello, Noor. How are you? And next name I see here we have Mackenzie in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And next name I see Elsa in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live. And next name I see here is hi Lisa, how are you? Thank you Lisa for joining in the live. Una in the chat. Next name is Una. How are you? Thank you, Una. The next name I see here we have Sia in the chat. Hello, Sia. How are you? And next name I see we have Mariam in the chat. Hello, Mariam. How are you? Thank you, Mariam, for joining in the live. Next name is Lala in the chat. Hello, Lala. How are you? And here I see next name is hi, Manon. How are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Porter in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live. And next thing I see here we have here is Harun join the live. Hello Harun. How are you? Thank you Harun for joining the live. Next name is Prachi. How are you, Prachi? And next name is hi Alia. Thank you so much Alia for joining in the live. Have a great lovely day to you. Here is Awa join the live. Hello Awa. How are you? And Zia, okay, Zia. I wrote your name. Here is Zia in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a lovely day to you. And here is Noor joining the live. Hi Noor, how are you? Thank you Noor. And here is Ryan King in the chat. Hi Ryan King, how are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Molly. Hi Molly, how are you? Thank you Molly for joining in the live. And here is Papaya in the chat. Hi, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Thank you so much. And here is Truco in the chat. welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is next name is Gulnoza. How are you, Gulnoza? Thank you, Gulnoza, for joining in the live. And here I see Canely in the chat. Hi, Canely, how are you? And here I see next name is Sanja in the chat. Hi, Sanja, how are you? And here is Asya joining us. Hi, Asya. How are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here I see next name is Sanskriti in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live and have a great, lovely day to you. Next name is Liumi. How are you, Liumi? Thank you, Liumi, for joining in the live. Hi, Sonia. How are you, Sonia? Thank you, Sonia, for joining in the live. And here is Agya in the chat. Hello, Agya. Welcome to the live. And I see Adam join the live. Hello, Adam. How are you, Adam? And here I see next name is happy birthday to you, Motiva. Happy birthday to you. Wish you a very happy birthday. And here I see Gayu in the chat. Hi Gayu, how are you? Welcome to the live, Gayu. And okay, 6-7. Thank you so much. And here I see next name is Pampa in the chat. And here next name who's here in the chat. And I see Alia join the live. Hello Alia. How are you, Alia? And next name is Samira. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here I see Iman join the live. Hello Iman, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Alan in the chat. Hello Alan, how are you, Alan? And here is next name is Manon. How are you, Manon? Thank you, Manon, for joining in the live. And here is Tyra in the chat. Hi, Tyra. How are you? Angelina. Thank you, Angelina. Thank you so much. And whose birthday is here? Happy birthday to you. Drop your name. And next name I see here we have. Okay, here we have Amma in the chat. Hello Amma, how are you? And here I see next name is Makesh. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a lovely day to you. And here is Rosie. Hi Rosie. And next name is, okay, I think I see Navika. Hi Navika, how are you? Thank you Navika for joining in the live. And here is Ekrin. Hello Ekrin, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Cat C in the chat. Hello, Cat C. How are you, Cat C? And here is Ira in the chat. Hi, Ira. How are you? Welcome to the live. And here is Tiana. How are you, Tiana? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Benny in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And who's here? Usman in the chat. Hi Usman, hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. And here I see Gina in the chat. Hi Gina, how are you Gina? And here I see, okay, next name is Legacy in the chat. Hello Legacy, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is hello Barkat, how are you? Thank you so much Barkat for joining in the live. And here is Misha in the chat. Hi Misha, how are you? Thank you Misha for joining in the live. Have a great lovely day to you. Next name is Faria in the chat. Hi Faria, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Aruba. Hi Aruba, thank you so much Aruba for joining in the live. Thank you. And here is Hajar in the chat. Hello Hajar, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next is BTS fan is here in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. And next name is here I see Meenakshi. How are you, Meenakshi? Thank you so much, Meenakshi, for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. And here is Shania in the chat. Hi, Shania. Thank you, Shania, for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. And here is Zia in the chat. Hello, Zia. How are you? And here I see next name is Kelsa in the chat. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a lovely day to you. And here is Murtaza in the chat. Hi Murtaza, how are you? Thank you so much Murtaza for joining in the live. And here I see Sasha in the chat. Hello Sasha, thank you Sasha, welcome to the live. Hello. And here I see next name is Sakshi. Hi Sakshi, how are you? Thank you Sakshi for joining in the live. And here is SC in the chat. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Anzalana. How are you, Anzalana? Thank you, Anzalana. And here we go, Malika in the chat. Hi, Malika. Thank you so much, Malika, for joining in the live. And here we go. Ibrar in the chat. Hi, Ibrar. How are you, Ibrar? Thank you so much. And here is Shamya in the chat. Shamya. Thank you, Shamya, for joining in the live. Have a great, lovely day to you. Next name is Shonko. Okay, here is Jungkook. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here I see Dua. Hi Dua, how are you Dua? Thank you Dua for joining in the live. Next name is Malia. How are you Malia? Thank you Malia for joining in the live. And here is Voodoo in the chat. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Hayat in the chat. Hi Hayat, how are you? And here is Yasi in the chat. Hi Yasi, how are you? Thank you for joining in the live. Next name is Anmol. Hi Anmol, I like your name. Thank you so much. And here is Lucy in the chat. Hi Lucy, thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is next name is okay Hadi Wong in the chat. Hi Hadi Wong, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. Hi Sophia. How are you, Sophia? Thank you, Sophia, for joining in the live. And here we go. Next name is Joseph in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Krishna joined the live. Hi, Krishna, how are you? Thank you, Krishna, for joining in the live. And here we go. Next name is okay. Next name is Angela in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Kentia in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in the live. And here is Lilia in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Walt. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is Irha. Join the live. Hi Irha. And here we go. Felicity, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great lovely day to you. And here I see. Yeah, it's Hira. Hi Hira, how are you? Welcome to the live here. And here is Nahuko in the chat. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Hi Lacey. How are you? Welcome to the live. And here we go. Hi Ari. How are you? Thank you so much Ari for joining in the live. And here next name is Hi Hashir, how are you Hashir? Thank you Hashir for joining in the live. And here. Thank you Ella for subscribing. Thank you so much Ella. And here we go. Kainat in the chat. Hi Kainat, how are you? Next name is Human. Sophia, I wrote your name. Thank you so much for joining the live. Have a lovely day to you. And here we go. Homemade in the chat. Hello, homemade. How are you? Welcome to the live. And here is Farnaj. How are you, Farnaj? Thank you, Farnaj, for joining in the live. Hi, Isha. How are you, Isha? Thank you, Isha. And here is Okta Kirana in the chat. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. And next man is Nihala in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. And your next name is Hi Zara. How are you, Zara? Thank you, Zara, for joining the live. And here is Fankuri in the chat. Thank you so much. Have a great lovely day to you. Here is Anna. How are you, Anna? Thank you, Anna, for joining in the live. Have a great lovely day to you. Next name is Kim Jenny in the chat. Next name is Mohsin. Hi Mohsin, how are you? No, I don't know Arabic. Hi Myra, Maria. Welcome back to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great, lovely day to you. Myra, Maria, Jessica, Arla, Darina, and Ali. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. And here is Janice in the chat. Hi Janice, how are you? Thank you, Janice. Okay, next name is Cyrus. Thank you so much. Have a great lovely day to you. And here I see here is Yunako X Hyunjin. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And here is next name I see here we have Alishba. Hi Alishba, how are you? And here next name is Bhutan Reptin in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much. And here we go. Next name is okay. Here next name is Munawra. How are you, Munawra? Thank you, Munawra, for joining in the live. And next name I see here. I see Fatma Ramzi. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. And here is hello Deep. How are you? Thank you so much Deep for joining in the live. Have a great day. And here I see next name is Juliana. How are you, Juliana? Thank you, Juliana. And here we go. Ina in the chat. Hi, Ina. How are you? Next name I see here. Next name is Anjum. Hi Anjum. How are you? Welcome to the live, Anjum. And here is Tashak in the chat. Hi Tashak. How are you? Welcome to the live, Tashak. And here is Charlotte. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great, lovely day to you. And here is Sovi joining the live. Hello, Sovi. How are you? Thank you, Sovi, for joining in the live. And here next name is Lisa. How are you, Lisa? Next name is Medina in the chat. Hi, Medina. How are you, Medina? And next name is Adam in the chat. Hello, Adam. How are you, Adam? And here is Rora in the chat. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And here is, okay, there it goes, Cha Eon Woo. Thank you so much, Cha Eon Woo. Thank you so much. Have a great, lovely day to you. Okay, next name is Daniela. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you, Daniela. And next name is Simon. Have a lovely day, Simon. And here is Happy in the light. Hello, Happy. How are you? Thank you, Happy, for joining in the light. Next name. Okay, Charlotte. How are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much. And here next name I see here is Ria in the chat. Hi Ria, how are you, Ria? Thank you, Ria, for joining in the live. And here is Shivangi. Hi Shivangi Joshi. Thank you, Shivangi Joshi, for joining the live. Have a nice day. Okay, next name is, here we go. Okay, I'm sorry I miss you. I did not write your name. Alice, thank you so much for joining in the live. Thank you so much. And here, whose name I did not write it yet. Tell me. And here is Noshin Anjum. Hi Noshin Anjum. How are you? Welcome to the live, Noshin Anjum. And okay, I see Sabrina name. I did not write your name. Thank you, Sabrina. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great lovely day to you. And here we go. Hello, Asma. How are you, Asma? Thank you, Asma. Okay, here is. Thank you for being in the live. Next name is Nida in the chat. And here we go, Sarah in the chat. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Next name is Hi, Lydia. Thank you, Lydia, for joining in the live. Have a great day. Have a lovely day to you. And here we go. And here is Himraj. How are you, Himraj? No? Thank you so much. Thank you for being in the live. Okay, next name is I am a girl. Yeah. Okay, Ishan. Okay, what's your name? And your ID name is Ishan. And here is Awa in the chat. Hi, Awa. How are you, Awa? And here is Charlie. Hi, Charlie. How are you, Charlie? Thank you, Charlie, for joining in the live. Nomi in the chat. Hi, Nomi. How are you? Welcome to the live, Nomi. Nomi name is John. Rika, next name is Rika. Rika name is also John. And next name is Arshita. Arshita name is John. Thank you, Arshita. And here is James. How are you, James? Thank you, James, for joining in the live. And next name is Afia in the chat. Hello, Afia. How are you? And here I see Sanam joined. Hi, Sanam. Thank you, Sanam, for joining in the live. And next name is Hi, Anna. How are you, Anna? Okay, Valley. Thank you, Valley, for joining in the live. Have a great day. Okay, next name is Ruhion. Thank you so much. Wafika. Thank you, Wafika, for liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. Have a great day to you. And next name is Hello Aya. How are you, Aya? And here is Sobi in the chat. Hi, Sobi. And next name is here we go. Next name is Surya in the chat. Hi, Surya. How are you, Surya? Thank you, Surya. And here is Valentina in the chat. Hi, Valentina. Thank you so much, Valentina. And here is S in the chat. Hello, Ish. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much. And here is Fijan in the chat. Hi, Fijan. How are you? And here is Rakina in the chat. Hello, welcome to the live. Thank you so much. Tap on the screen, guys. Hit the 40 likes. Hit the 40 likes. Next name is Zoe. Next name is Sophia. How are you, Sophia? And here I see Gulsara in the chat. Hi, Gulsara. How are you? Welcome to the live. Next name is Sophia. Welcome to the live, Sophia. Okay, next name. I see. Next name is Nadia. Hi Nadia, how are you? And next name is Hi Ali, how are you? Welcome to the live Ali. Uh, Next name is Sayolina. Thank you so much. And here we go, Raisa in the chat. Hello, how are you? And here next name is Shaza in the chat. Hi Shaza, how are you? And here is Imyonyo in the chat. Okay, next name is okay. Next name is Roya. How are you, Roya? And here is UCT in the chat. Hello, UCT. How are you? Okay, everyone. I will take last 5 names, then I will end the live. Hi, Myra. I will take last 5 names, then I will end the live. Thank you for joining in the live. Thank you, Joshua in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Okay, I'm starting now here. I'm C. Irha. Next name is Jolie. How are you, Jolie? And here we go. Okay, I'm taking last 5 names. Then I will end the live. Airborne. I am Lucero. Thanks, so beautiful art. Thank you, Lucero. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in the live. Have a lovely day to you. Thank you so much. Okay, here I'm starting now. I'm starting 5 names, then I will end the live. I'm starting taking last 5 names. Here is okay. Here is 5, 4, 3, 2, Kimaya. And is the last one in Priya. Hello in Priya. How are you? Welcome to the live in Priya. Thank you so much for joining the live. Thank you so much. Okay, here two more join the live. Destiny, thank you Destiny for joining in the live. Thank you Dion for joining in the live. And here is Jarek. Thank you Jarek for joining in the live. And thank you Meet. And the last name I'm taking now, I'm taking the last name, Jimin. Thank you guys, thank you so much. See you in the next live at 5:30 p.m. GMT. Thank you everyone, thank you so much. Bye everyone, bye. Hi Joanna, how are you? Thank you so much Joanna for joining in the live. Thank you so much. Bye everyone, bye.